Downtown Fort Wayne, a vibrant hub of arts, eats, and recreation.
All of you have heard the question, what is there to do in Fort Wayne? There's nothing to do here. So how do you answer that?
Meet Reagan Mahoney, lead concierge at the Pearl. She sat down with a panel of downtown experts for their take.
If somebody says there's nothing to do, they're not looking very hard.
I think it's just the information people are lacking and awareness of it.
You can start at any origin point and you're going to find something to do.
Be bold and just check it out.
So, let's check it out with this deep dive into downtown Fort Wayne and how the Pearl is helping to shape it.
Well, first off, I just want to say thank you all for being here. Welcome to the Pearl. Let's just start if each of you could introduce yourself.
Ian Broadway, board president for YLNI, or Young Leaders of Northeast Indiana.
John Urbahns, President and CEO of Greater Fort Wayne, Inc.
I'm Jessa Campbell, the Director of Destination Development and Communications at Visit Fort Wayne.
I'm Perez, I own Equitable Hospitality, Mercado, Pizza, Duckies.
So downtown Fort Wayne is alive with growth and energy, and we're here to talk about what's making it such a great place to build community and experiences. How have you seen downtown Fort Wayne evolve since you first got involved here?
I came downtown to start working 29 years ago. The change has been amazing. When we first started talking about downtown really back in the early 2000s, the first plan we talked about it being everybody's neighborhood. And that whole concept of live, work, play. We knew back then that we'd be successful when we saw strollers and dogs downtown.
Yeah.
And that's what we see now. It's not just 8 to 5.
Growing up in 07, downtown continues to be that hub of the mix of demographics of really what makes Fort Wayne. And us in the restaurant industry, it's been good to kind of participate in that, having different style of restaurants. Right now with Duckies here at Pearl, to kind of have that activity for families, different generations can appreciate.
Main Street's kind of taking off and lots of new development. The Pearl very much is part of that. I think it's only added to the vibrancy, the growth.
I'm sure all of you have heard the question, what is there to do in Fort Wayne? There's nothing to do here. So how do you answer that? Because I think we all know there's lots to do here.
Me growing up in Fort Wayne, and I think I've kind of thought like that, like there's nothing to do. But as I've become more integrated into, business side of things, I'm like, you know what, there actually is.
I think it's just the information people are lacking and awareness of it. So FortWayne.com, you can go there and find things to do. There's not a lack of events for sure. There's always something going on in downtown Fort Wayne. Artists on the street painting a picture, to live music, to enjoying it out on the riverfront, getting on a kayak, lots of festivals happening.
If somebody says there's nothing to do, they're not looking very hard. There's always something going on. Like Jessa said, there's something going on all the time.
I think you just have to start somewhere. So maybe it is just parking in a garage and just walking around and exploring. I think for YLNI, every Saturday morning, we've got our farmers market, 9 to 1. It's been voted top market in the area, in the state. I think we've got 200-ish vendors downtown, food trucks. I think community is what you make it. Be bold and just check it out.
And it doesn't have to cost a lot. Like Ian said, it's just exploring. Come down, get out there on a kayak, get out there on a paddleboard, experience something different, and you're going to be out on a river and not feel like you're downtown.
You can start at any origin point and you're going to find something to do. I don't think there's like one specific area you got to start.
Like Johnny was saying, you just park one place. You can easily get to, Broadway, to the Pearl, to the landing, to the riverfront, over to Headwaters Park. We've got Science Central just nearby. And we also have Tin Taps. Go enjoy a game there with your family, with the fireworks after. And then if you're at the arts campus, enjoying the Fort Wayne Museum of Art, their glass display is always wonderful.
I just recently moved downtown when the Pearl opened. So being newer to this community and seeing how all the other businesses care so much about downtown Fort Wayne, and they care so much about the success of not only their own business, but all the surrounding businesses, I think is really inspiring. How do you feel like being downtown makes it easier to collaborate, network, and grow?
Activity begets activity. I hear from so many people that maybe they moved their office to the suburbs in the 80s or the 90s, and you're starting to see that come back, and people come back. Offices are moving back in because I can walk out to lunch and have 3-4 meetings just walking a couple blocks to grab a sandwich or something to eat because I see people. It happens in an environment like this.
It's a hub.
Yeah. And I think beyond the connectivity piece, it's also the accessibility piece. And that's something as a community, we have done a lot of great work.
The accessibility doesn't just end for someone in a wheelchair or someone using a cane trail. It's for everybody. Promenade Park is a great example of that, and it's for with strollers or maybe a cart, or that ease of access to everything.
And we're continuing to be intentional, continuing to build it out, making space for new people, accessibility. So excited to see what's to come because, again, it just keeps getting better.
Why do you think more people are choosing to build their careers, businesses, and lives downtown now?
Opportunity.
Yeah, and downtown's an opportunity. The community's an opportunity. We poll businesses. We do a survey every 5 years, and 90% of the businesses think that downtown revitalization has had the strongest impact on their talent attraction and retention. And that's businesses across Allen County. That's not just folks in Fort Wayne or just in downtown. So you've got a quality of place, a great community, plus a good cost of living. That's why our community has seen significant growth in the last decade of new residents and domestic migration.
I think that just exactly aligns with YLNI. Young leaders, our mission is to attract, develop, and retain. So downtown makes that easy for us to live our mission out.
And Johnny, with Ducky's being in the Pearl, you kind of have an up close and personal view of how it's changing downtown. How do you feel that hospitality plays a role in making downtown a true destination for residents and visitors alike?
Growing up in Fort Wayne and being able to now have children, I've seen like the city kind of scale with my needs. That for me kept me from moving away from Fort Wayne. Because initially I thought that's what I wanted to do, go to a big city, it's going to feel different. But I feel paid off as a husband, as a father, not just a business. And I'm just going to say, I think the caliber of entrepreneur and quality of food that we get here in Fort Wayne is on par with like Indianapolis, Detroit.
Visitors are seeing that as well and commenting on it and bringing them to our community. And they always are commenting on how affordable and how good our food scene is.
Where do you see the Pearl's involvement in improving the future of downtown Fort Wayne?
Pearl kind of, I think, it's like almost as a symbol of like the optimistic perspective that there is growth going on at Fort Wayne.
This sets a great example of if you believe in the community and want to invest in the community, what you can do. We're bucking the Midwest trends. It's great as we're talking to others that are maybe looking at investing from the outside. They see that we as a city are investing and that our local investors are investing. So you look at the Pearl, you look at the Bradley and other projects like that. That is a signal that Fort Wayne and Allen County is open for business and is attracting world-class investments.
Us being, homegrown, hospitality restaurant group, we want to be an institution to, when there are bigger guys, bigger corporations come in and look like, wow, there's already that kind of, quality place here already. And I just like the idea that people take Portland seriously and seeing that we're investing in the neighborhood and things like that.
Yeah.
One of the things we've seen with downtown housing, I think when it started, people are like, well, you're just trying to attract young folks. You're just trying to attract people out of college. And quickly you saw the empty nesters as a big piece of the demographic downtown.
The Pearl is just adding to the richness of our community. It's adding to the local entrepreneur scene. It's adding to our restaurant offerings, but also adding to that kind of intergenerational living, that richness that's provided by those lives mixing together. It's just a beautiful opportunity.
I think the Pearl can really be and continue to be part of that, setting it up for success for the future generations. That's what's going to keep things going and keep the ball rolling.
I'm excited for what the future holds with the next generations, because we're now raising a generation like my kids that are now entering the workforce, and they've only known downtown as a thriving, growing, vibrant place. Where do they want to take it to that next level?
Well, thank you guys again so much for being here. I think I can speak for all of us when we say how excited we are to see what the future holds and how we can continue to connect with these local organizations that make this city so great.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Find your place downtown with ultra-modern apartment living at the Pearl. Your adventure begins at thepearlfw.com.